I'm Jeanne Kelley and welcome to my kitchen. I am a cookbook author, recipe developer, food educator, and food stylist, and I live in Los Angeles. I've been cooking up great things in this kitchen for decades. Bon Appetit magazine has published over 1,000 of my recipes, and I've written for Los Angeles Times, Cooking Light, and Fine Cooking magazines. I've written 6 cookbooks, and here are my cookbooks: Blue Eggs and Yellow Tomatoes, Salad for Dinner, The Kitchen Garden, Portable Feast, and Punch Bowls and Pitcher Drinks. And I'm very excited to share with you today my latest book, Vegetarian Salad for Dinner. This is the follow-up to my successful Salad for Dinner cookbook. This new book tackles the challenge of creating delicious meatless main dishes. Every salad in this book is bursting with flavor and glorious produce, and there are recipes appropriate for every season and occasion. Let's take a look. The salads are separated into 7 categories. Classics that are loosely based on well-known salads like Caesar, Italian chopped, tostada salad, and Greek salad. There are salads with grains, and they feature grains like bulgur, barley, rice, farro, and freekeh. Then there are our salads made with pulses, and pulses are beans and lentils and peas. Our salads with seeds are made with either pseudo grains like quinoa, buckwheat, or familiar seeds like sesame and chia seeds. Pasta salads are cooked up with Italian pastas, soba noodles, and couscous. Bread salads are made with croutons, toasts, migas, and even pizza crust. And lastly, we have the roasted and toasted. And the roasted and toasted salads is my catch-all section for salads that are made extra tasty by oven roasting or panned toasting. My cooking is influenced by the many cultural heritages of my hometown, Los Angeles, and by my love of fresh produce. You will see these influences in all of the recipes in my book. Today I'm going to make 2 different recipes, one that's a cooked salad in the Italian tradition, and one that's loosely based on an Indian dish that has lots of great fresh Indian-inspired flavors. This first recipe is from the roasted and toasted section of my book. And it is based on the Italian classic salad Pepperonata. And a Pepperonata features so many of my favorite ingredients. It has mini sweet peppers in it, cherry tomatoes, arugula, and lots of delicious fresh herbs. And to turn this recipe into a main event, I like to add baked ricotta. We start this recipe with whole milk ricotta, and it's important to use whole milk ricotta because it just has a better texture. But if you have dietary issues, you can certainly use a low-fat one. And I strain the ricotta because it takes off the excess, out of the excess moisture, and that makes it really great for baking. We're gonna line our strainer with cheesecloth, and we'll just put our ricotta cheese in there, keeping it intact, and we'll cover it up and we'll stick it in the refrigerator for 6 hours or overnight. This recipe uses 2 pounds of sweet mini peppers, and I prep these out just by cutting the ends off. And if it's a large pepper, bigger than your thumb or longer than your thumb, say, I like to just cut it in half. I'm going to simply add to a big roasting pan, along with tomatoes, and about half of a red onion, some Kalamata olives, 3 tablespoons of good quality olive oil, 6 cloves of chopped garlic, and we'll sprinkle that with a little red pepper flakes, and we'll add a half teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to just stir this mix together. Get that, everything coated with that olive oil. And this is all mixed with the salt and the red chili flakes. And then we want to make a space in the middle of all this goodness for our ricotta. Here's our ricotta that's been in the refrigerator overnight. And as you can see, a lot of the moisture has come out of it. You can see the way it's drained out. So we just want to carefully unwrap this ricotta, and we're just going to put that in the space that we made. And then we're going to season the whole thing with black pepper, and we'll sprinkle it with some fresh oregano leaves. And then we'll give the ricotta a nice little drizzle of olive oil. And this goes into a 425 degree oven till everything is roasted and browned and delicious, and that takes about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, the pepperonata is all tender and the ricotta is baked. I just spoon some of the pepperonata onto a plate, and we'll get a nice bit of the ricotta, some olives. And to finish it, I like to serve it with some arugula leaves. And you can add as little as or as much as you like, and some fresh basil leaves. And if your basil leaves are huge, go ahead and tear them up a little bit. It just makes it easier and more enjoyable to eat. But it just really adds a beautiful, nice herbal punch. And then I like to top it off with another little drizzle of good olive oil, a little sprinkling of salt, little drizzle of the balsamic. And to make a real meal out of it, you can't go wrong serving it with some beautiful crusty bread. This salad, this baked salad, is best served room temperature or warm. And it can be served solo, or it could be part of a large Italian antipasti spread. If you're not a vegetarian, you could have prosciutto and melon with it. You could also serve marinated artichoke hearts, lots of goodies that are part of your Italian antipasti. And it's great on its own too, and it's a winner. The second salad that I'm preparing from the book is from the seed chapter, and it's a red quinoa salad, and it is loosely based on an Indian red bean curry called Rajma Masala. And it's a popular vegetarian bean dish that's eaten all throughout India. And while this is not at all a traditional salad, it does capture some of the delicious, spicy, cool flavors of Indian cuisine. And I make this salad with red quinoa. And red quinoa is a little bit nuttier than white quinoa, but you can certainly use white quinoa or tri-colored quinoa when you make this dish. Masala roughly translates to a mix. So let's start mixing some things up. We're going to start with the quinoa, and we cook that by just mixing a cup of quinoa, 2 cups of water, and about a half a teaspoon salt, and we'll just simmer that for 15 minutes or so until it's tender and all the liquid is absorbed. Once our quinoa is cooked and cooled, all we need to do is just transfer it to a bowl, and now we'll make the rest of the salad. We'll start by preparing our dressing. And with that, we're going to put in some peanut or sesame oil. If you use sesame oil, make sure it's not the toasted kind. You want a light, unseasoned, untoasted sesame oil, or you could use any sort of light vegetable oil. I just happen to prefer peanut or sesame oil. And to that, we'll add some fresh lime or lemon juice, ginger, get my little spoon, a little grated fresh ginger, and some grated garlic, and about a half teaspoon of salt. And then we're whisking that together, and this is going to be our dressing for the salad. Now, I have this nifty tool that I like to use for my ginger. And it just makes it so that you get a really, really nice, thin, grated ginger. You can use a microplane, but this just really works amazingly. And I also use this with my garlic cloves. So it's just one stop. I don't have to clean. It's really perfect. So that is a nifty tip. So once I have my cooked quinoa in the bowl, I'll add some cherry tomatoes that I've cut in half, a hothouse cucumber, about half of a red onion, 1/4 cup of chopped fresh cilantro, and the same 1/4 cup of mint leaves, all chopped up. And then to that, we add red kidney beans to the whole mix, And I just use canned, makes life easy. And we'll finish it up with just a little bit of heat from a finely chopped Serrano chili. Now, it's not too much heat that the salad gets from this chili because I make a point of seeding the chili. And just to get an idea of how we do that, you just simply take that, and I like to cut it off of the center stems. And then that way I just throw the whole thing away. If you like things spicy, go ahead. You can just chop the whole thing up. But this way, to me, I think I control a little bit of the heat for people who don't want anything too spicy. Add our dressing to the salad. We'll just stir this together. I like to top it with all sorts of goodies. So some of those goodies, I like to add peanuts to it and crunchy chickpea snacks. And if you go to an Indian market, they'll have all sorts of funny, crunchy little snacks that are so delicious, and you can experiment and add any of those. Or I love crunchy chickpeas, and you can get these at most supermarkets. They'll be in different spices. Melissa's makes a lovely garlic spiced one. And then, to really make this salad perfect, I make a tamarind chutney. Now, anybody who's eaten at an Indian buffet will know this chutney sauce. It's served with pakoras and samosas. It's that sort of dark, sweet brown one. And we'll start with a tablespoon of tamarind puree. Water, about 2 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, which seems like a lot, but the tamarind is so tart that it really adds a nice balance to it. About a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger, a 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala, and a 1/4 teaspoon of a nice spicy Indian dried chili, or you can use cayenne pepper. You can get the garam masala and the tamarind puree at any Indian grocery or at your better food stores. You can also use fresh tamarind, and here are the tamarind pods. And what's fun about these is you just open them up, you take off the peel, and then they have this nice gooey tamarind paste inside and seeds. But it's a little time consuming to do, so just for ease, I like to use the jarred tamarind puree. To serve the salad, I like to mound it on a plate. And if you're having a large party, you can do this. You can garnish it in a bowl, or you can mount it onto a large platter. But to serve it, I liked it topped with all these wonderful tasty things. Peanuts, and our chickpea snacks. And it's just so nice to add lots of beautiful brightness from herbs, from our more cilantro. Add a couple of mint sprigs. It just really adds to the freshness of the salad and makes it really nice and tasty. And then to finish it all off, we'll do a nice drizzle of the tamarind. Enjoy. This salad is packed with protein and texture and flavor, and it's pretty irresistible as is. But if you're not a vegetarian, it's an excellent side dish with tandoori chicken or grilled lamb. Thank you for joining me today and getting to know vegetarian salad for dinner. I want to thank Melissa's Produce for all this beautiful produce, and I really wish you were all here with me now so you could eat all this delicious food. Happy cooking.